Hi, welcome back to the Box of Lights game channel. We're playing War of the Ring. Let's begin the next turn by recovering our action dice. Shadow player is going to leave one here because the Fellowship did move last turn. Let's draw our event cards. We get the Ents Awake Entmute and Kindred of Glorfindel for the Free Peoples. Shadow player gets the Nazgul Strike and Pits of Mordor. Ring bears are here in Lorien. We have moved the Fellowship twice, so we're not going to declare. Corruption is going to stay at 5. And Shadow player is not going to add any extra hunt dice. So let's roll our dice. And we get 1 eye, 1 army, 4 muster, 1 army muster, and an event die. So that's 2 eyes in the hunt for the ring box. Free Peoples will roll. And they get, well, that's pretty nice. We've got 1 character die, 2 Will of the West, 1 event, and 1 muster. First thing I'm going to do is use one of these character dice to separate Strider from the Fellowship. So let's take Strider, his token, and his card, which means Pippin becomes the guide of the Fellowship. This is card up here, discard his token and place his figure in Lorien. The Fellowship track's currently at 2. Strider's level is 3, so that means we can move Strider up to 5 regions. And with that 5 region movement, I'm going to move through Path Celebrant onto East Emnet, through Druidan Forest and into Minas Tirith. Shadow player now is going to get his event die out of the way, I think. And with that we're going to play Pits of Mordor. Pits of Mordor says, play if Sauron is at war. Recruit 2 Sauron regular units in each of the 3 different Sauron strongholds. So that's Moria, Orthanc and Minas Morgul, each getting bolstered by 2 regular Sauron units. Pretty good. We needed that. We need that little boost, just to shore those up a little bit, I think. Free Peoples now. And we're going to do something special with one of these Will of the West dice. This is the Aragorn Heir to Isildur companion card. It says if Strider is in Minas Tirith, which he is right now, and that someone's controlled by the Free Peoples, you may use 1 Will of the West action die to replace Strider with Aragorn. So Strider goes, Aragorn joins the Free Peoples list of companions. We've grabbed the Aragorn token from the supply and we'll place this underneath Aragorn's figure here to show us that this is now Aragorn, not Strider. Shadow player's got a whole bunch of muster dice now which you can think about. Let's use one of these to play an event card. And the event card I'm interested in is called The King is Revealed. Free Peoples have just played Aragorn into the game. And this card says, play if Aragorn is in play. Recruit 5 Sauron regular units and a Nazgul in Minas Morgul. And that's much better than what I can normally do with a regular recruitment. Free Peoples now. And we're going to turn one of these Will of the West dice into a character die and move the Fellowship. 2 dice there in the hunt for the ring box. And we'll roll 2 dice for the hunt. Looking for 6s. And no, nothing there. Not with a 3 and a 2. So the fellowship track goes up to 3. Shadow player wants to turn the screw a little bit, I think, on the military campaign. So let's use one of these army dice. And let's try and push in the attack from here in West Emnet to Edoras. Free peoples have 2 elites, 1 regular and a leader, so that's 3 units with 1 leadership reroll. The Isengard army has 3 elites, 1 regular, and 2 Nazgul and the Witch Kings, that's 4 leadership. Edoras is a city, so just like a fortification, during the first round of combat, the attacker only hits on a 6 rather than a 5 and a 6. But after the first round of combat, we just return back to the normal rules. So let's enter the first round of combat. Combat cards. And Shadow player is going to play They Are Terrible. And this says play if the total Nazgul leadership is 1 or more. We've got a leadership of 4. Forfeit 1 point of Nazgul leadership to add 1 to all dice on your leader reroll. So that would mean that we would do 3 leader rerolls and we get +1 modifier on those dice. Free people's player, they're going to choose to play Valor. And Valor says play if a Free People's elite unit is in the battle. They've got 2 elite units. Add 1 to all your combat dice. Okay, so we're going to hit on a 4, 5 or a 6. Let's roll. So Shadow player with 4 units is going to roll 4 dice. Remember, they're only hitting on a 6 for the first round of combat because of the fortification offered by the city. And they get no hits. Free peoples, they have 3 units, 3 dice. And because of Valor, we get to add 1 to all our dice on our combat roll. So we're going to hit on 4s, 5s or 6s. And yes, we get 2 hits here. Leader rerolls then. Shadow player's got 4 leadership. We're going to reduce that by 1. We're going to reroll just 3 dice. Because of the city, we're going to hit on 6s, but because of They Are Terrible, we're going to hit on 5s and 6s. Oh no! No hits at all. Free peoples, they've got a leadership of 1, they get to reroll 1 failed rolls. We're going to hit on just 5s and 6s. We don't get Valor this time because it's a leader reroll. And it's a miss. Shadow player gets no hits. Free peoples gets 2 hits. They're going to downgrade 2 elites to 2 regulars. Let's discard these combat cards now. Now remember, because of the Witch King's ability, the Shadow player can redraw a character event card. This only applies on the first round of combat. And he draws, give it to us. Now the Shadow player can either choose to retreat or continue to push. I think we'll continue. Shadow player can now retreat if they wish, but nope, they're going to hold up. We're doing okay at the minute. Combat cards. Shadow player is going to play Black Breath. It says play if Nazgul is in the battle, which it is. If any of my leader rerolls scores at least 1 hit, we may additionally eliminate 1 Free People's leader participating in the battle. Free Peoples, they're going to play a combat card too. We're going to play Advantageous Position. Remember, we've lost the defence bonus from the city now because we're not in the first round of combat, we're in the second. Advantageous position says play if the defending army is inside the borders of a free people's nation, which we are, we're inside Edoras, which is inside the borders of the Rohan nation. Subtract 1 from all dice on the combat roll of the shadow player. An unmodified 6 is still considered a hit for him. So that means the shadow player is only going to hit on 6s still. Let's roll the dice. Shadow player has 4 units still, so that's 4 dice. We're going to hit on just 6s because of advantageous position. And we get no hits. That's a terrible roll. Shadow player's having a bad battle. Free peoples, they've still got 3 units, so 3 rolls. We're hitting on 5s and 6s. And they also get no hits. Alright, leader rerolls. Leadership is 4 for the shadow player, so they get to reroll all 4. And remember, if any of these scores at least 1 hit, we can additionally eliminate 1 free peoples. We hit on 5s and 6s now because advantageous position was only affecting combat rolls. And yes, we get 2 hits. And that means we're going to take out 2 hits plus a leader participating in the battle. Free peoples, they get to reroll 1 dice. We're hitting on 5s and 6s. No, it's a miss. So let's take the damage. Tables of turns, it's 2 hits on the free peoples. They're going to downgrade 2 elites for 2 regulars. Both of these regulars have come from the discards. And additionally, because of our black breath, we get to eliminate this leader. This gets discarded. Next round of combat. Let's discard these combat cards. Shadow player is going to push on, I think. Combat cards. Shadow player is going to play Great Host. And it says if after removing casualties from combat roll and leader reroll, your army units are at least twice as many as the enemy units, score 1 automatic hit. And free peoples, well, I considered playing Shield Wall. Yeah, let's do that. Let's play Shield Wall. This is a hard-fought battle. Shield Wall says, before you remove casualties inflicted by your opponent's combat roll and leader reroll, if your opponent scored 2 or more hits, cancel 1 of them. Okay, it's 4 dice for the shadow player. We're hitting on 5s and 6s, and we got 1 hit. Free peoples, they've still got 3 dice. We're hitting on 5s and 6s. And yes, we got 1 hit. That might just save the day. Leader rerolls. Shadow player gets to reroll 4. There's 3 dice here. 5s and 6s. And no hits. Shield Wall does nothing because we only got 1 hit. Great Host is going to do nothing as well because we're taking a hit each. No, I think it might actually. Shield Wall's going to do nothing because this is before removing casualties. Great Host works after removing casualties. I wondered if there was a timing issue. Because what's going to happen now is that we're going to take a hit here and move this down to a regular unit, which leaves us with 4. Free peoples is going to take 1 hit, moving them down to 2. Now we've got twice as many units here as our enemy units. But Shield Wall says cancel 1 of those units if you get 2 hits, and we are getting 2 hits. 1 of them's automatic, 1 of them's rolled. But take a look at these little numbers in the lower left here. This number is the card initiative, so if there's any doubt as to which order these cards need to be played, you always play the card with the lower initiative first. So Shield Wall is going to come into effect first, and at this point we only have 1 hit, so Shield Wall is going to do nothing. Then Great Host with an initiative of 7 is going to add 1 more hit, that's 2 hits. but obviously Shield Wall's already gone and not done anything. The net result of all that is, yes, the Free People's player will take one more hit, one more casualty. And the Shadow player will continue to press the attack. Free Peoples, they can stand strong or they can retreat. If we fall back, it's only going to be into the fold, and then we're still going to have to use action dice to move into somewhere like minus Tirith to get some support. I think Free Peoples are just going to hold out courageously in the hope that we'll score at least one more hit against this Shadow army. So let's roll. It's still 4 dice for Shadow. 5 and 6s we're looking for, and 1 5 we have. Free Peoples, they're going to get to roll just 1 dice. And yes, they got the hit they were looking for. Of course, we can do our leader rerolls. And we get 1 more hit. But there's only 1 unit here anyway. Shadow player takes a hit. Free Peoples take a hit. Their army is eliminated. And the Shadow army can advance into Edoras. I'm going to leave the army token there because it's quite a large army still in a small amount of space. But they can claim the city and it's 1 victory point. It takes us up to 4. That's it for now. Join me next time as we continue to play War of the Ring.